for lunch. And whilst I'm here, Togo, so I'm just going to finish. Yeah, so after the coffee break is next. After that, we're going to have parallel sessions. There'll be one group in here, one group in the Motorola room, which is up one floor. And in here, we're going to be hearing about methodological updates, particularly in AI algorithm development. And upstairs, we're going to be having the rapid lightning talks, as well as longer oral presentations on iNaturalist, vectors, and ethics. So thank you, Togo. Back to you.
Good stuff. Well, hello everyone. Good to be here again for an annual meeting. Yeah, I can't help but think back on the days in Brussels when we had a kickoff meeting, a smaller group, and all of this ahead of us. Now it's really coming together. Great to hear all the working groups presenting their works as well. Here is a short presentation about a new project that may offer some opportunity for this group as well, and some support for some of the things we've been talking about. Before I get to that, a little bit of history. Kim and I started working on these insect camera traps 7 years ago, and this image I think is worth remembering. That's from Kim's balcony in Aarhus. I think a former bookshelf repurposed for an insect camera trap, a bit of electronics. We got the first data back then into this prototype paper. And I guess since then, we've been mindful of the many challenges associated with running insect camera traps, the hardware design, as well as all the metadata standards that we thought about but didn't really solve back then, the taxonomic labeling, machine learning algorithms, and ecological inference. So all of these things, as you know, come together to really make those traps useful. In the meantime, I think we've done some advances, particularly maybe on the algorithm side. So for a camera trap focused on a uniform background, I think now we have a series of detection models or localization models, including Asger's great work on the Flatbox localization algorithm, Kim's work on the order classifier, and various efforts to classify moths using deep learning algorithms. So for the localization, I think you've seen images like this before. This is what Flatbox does to localizing such images. And if this video works, I'm not sure now. The download was a bit quick. So let's see if something happens. It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, too bad. But if you put it all together, I think you've seen videos before where this all comes together in tracking. So the point here is that now we're at a stage where we can start interpreting all this predictions from the AI models into more ecological inference. And one example of that is that as we get to species level data, we can aggregate that data across seasons to give us information about a sort of community metric for the seasonal dynamics of moth communities, but we can also, with species level classifiers, begin to resolve that data for individual species to look at how the phenology or the relative abundance of each species change from year to year. And we're beginning to get some time series for that from this long-term program from Denmark. So that's very exciting. We begin to get into the volume of data where we can start looking at trends across time and calibrate those against weather factors that affect insect communities along the way. Still, you know this, we've got many challenges, some of which we can't control when the insects land on the lens instead of on the board and block out the view, or if there's various behavioral aspects, motion or other like they sit at the edge of the trap instead of in the center. They're hard to identify. So some challenges we can't solve, but some of them I think we're beginning to solve. And in this new project that will be starting later this year, we hope to solve even more of those challenges. So we were fortunate to be invited for the grant agreement process on the Project Beagle, Biodiversity Methods for Advanced Monitoring at Large Scales. It's not only an insect AI project, it's broad terrestrial, freshwater, and marine biodiversity monitoring project that includes insect cameras as one element. It starts this fall, 17 partners, 12 countries, and will be a way of upscaling some of these insect camera traps, as well as computer vision for bulk insect samples collected with Malaise traps, as well as many other things. And we hope to sort of complete this cycle that I think is also quite close to the AI concept of strengthening the networks and building like integration of data, tools, and people. So for specifically for insect AI related work, I think it's worth saying that this project is very much a facilitator of bridging existing networks and supporting existing networks of insect monitoring, including some of the ones listed here. Maybe you heard about the Life Plan project. It was a global biodiversity monitoring project. Some of the Biodiversa Plus pilots, the Plast Mambo project, One Stop, and ELTA field stations all have the opportunity to be longer-term homes for insect camera trapping. And we hope with this new project that we can make a more meta network across these networks to support insect monitoring across Europe, in particular, to support conservation and climate adaptation policies as well. So some of these existing networks already have insect camera traps deployed at various countries in Europe. This is what it looks like when we think specifically about the AMI traps. And most of these networks have indicated that they are interested in continuing as part of this new project. So hopefully there will be comparable data streams from maybe more than 20 countries, more than 150 camera traps for the coming 4 or 5 years. So hopefully that's good news for all of the little tools and details that we're working on as a community here. And I thought I'd map that back to this cycle that I showed you before, the 5 elements. I'm not sure Beagle will support, or it won't really support further hardware design and prototyping, but I'm sure the community here is keen to continue that journey. On metadata standards, I think you've already made good progress in the past couple of days. We will continue that journey and try to facilitate the publication of occurrence data to GBIF. That's one of the measures of success of Beagle, that we push as much data as possible to GBIF, so we can facilitate that process. We will also support more engagement with taxonomic experts for human in the loop or active learning strategies, and create a series of benchmark data sets. Again, that's an insect AI deliverable, so we can hopefully support that. Bionic blitzes might also be one area that Beagle can support the insect AI vision. So maybe there can be future bionic blitzes supported through this Beagle project. On the insect camera traps, we will specifically work on lightweight models that we can deploy on the traps themselves. So we have a more streamlined data processing pipeline that sends data automatically to central servers and dashboards. We'll work more on the IoT solutions for the traps and dabble a bit more into the non-moth insect classification aspects. Yeah, so hopefully this sounds exciting and interesting. It's obviously a project with a set of partners, but there should be ample support to connect to other entities and initiatives. So hopefully some ways also for bringing people together even beyond the lifetime of insect AI. Yeah, that's all. Thanks. Here's
Thank you very much. Loki, do you have any question for Loki? No. No? Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. And we finish our first morning session, and now we can make a break. Outside is a coffee break for you, and then we will continue making two parallel sessions. 11:15. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Uh, what should I do with recording?
Stop recording. Start recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.